Hello and welcome to the Burn the Ships podcast. We are back for another episode. Tonight we were going to lead off talking about the Dodgers. Lots of things to discuss there. But then, we have the pre-show meetings and discussions and what just scrolls across the timeline. Henry Schulman, who I love for covers the Giants, tweets out that ESPN is having a discussion about independent one-game pennant. Who would you rather have on the mound? Jake Arrieta or Clayton Kershaw? Now, you'll excuse me because I'll be laughing. Justin, I'll let you take this off first.
Yeah, if your answer is Jake Arrieta, you only care about the fact that Arrieta's team is scoring a ton of runs for him. So, since 2014, which is when Arrieta got to where he is now, because over the last 3 years, Arrieta's been amazing. Just to paint the picture for you, over the last 3 seasons, Jake Arrieta has a 2.02 ERA and a 2.37 FIP, and that's in 68 starts. And that doesn't count tonight's start where he went 7 innings of shutout baseball. Pitched well, not great, but well. But either way, here's the thing. As great as Jake Arrieta has been since 2014, in those 400 and almost 54 innings, that 2.02 ERA, that 2.37 FIP, Clayton Kershaw demolishes it. Kershaw's pitched about 518 innings, because I say about because it's 517 and 2/3, so that's 518. So let's just call it 518. 518 innings for Clayton Kershaw. So you're talking about a guy who's pitched, 60 more innings? Okay, he's pitched 60 more innings than Arrieta has. And Kershaw's ERA is 1.90. His FIP is 184. And he's striking out 11.2 batters per 9 innings. And he's only walking 1.36 per 9 innings. And in that time, in 71 starts, his wins above replacement is 20.4. He's produced 6.2 more wins above replacement than Jake Arrieta has over the same amount of time. If you're picking Jake Arrieta, you're actually probably literally insane.
I mean, I get that Arrieta had the nice. I mean, he's been great. He's
great.
In the AL, he's a Cy Young guy. But we're talking about Clayton Kershaw. I mean, you mentioned the WAR difference. Even if
you don't believe in wins above replacement, when someone says Clayton Kershaw has an ERA that's 1/10 of a run lower than this other guy, and he's done it in 60 more innings, you're taking the guy with the lower ERA.
And he has an xFIP that's 0.7 points lower. He's striking out 2 more guys per 9 innings. Oh, and he's walking almost 1 less per 9 innings.
Since 2014, Kershaw's striking out 1/3 of the batters who steps into the box against him. 1/3. That's 33%. I know that's a hard math equation, but 1/3 of the batters who walk into the batter's box against Clayton Kershaw turn right back around and go right back to the dugout because they struck out. 1/3.
I don't understand how. But I mean,
how do you have a discussion and then for Hank Schulman to throw in Madison Bumgarner into the discussion is even more insane.
Yeah, that's so if you want to go 2 years for Bumgarner, let's say 2 years.
So it's what, 2015?
2015, although let's include 2014 because World Series and Bumgarner had great years. So we're going to look at Bumgarner, okay?
From 2014 till now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Kershaw's at 518 innings pitched. Bumgarner's at 508. So we're talking just basically 10 innings difference between the two guys. Okay, and in those 10 innings, Kershaw's racked up 9.6 more wins above replacement. To put that into perspective, Clayton Kershaw has basically been almost worth 2 Madison Bumgarners by himself.
God, that's crazy. I mean, it's just...
And Bumgarner's been amazing.
Yeah.
Bumgarner since 2014 has a 2.83 ERA. Kershaw's almost a full run below that.
And because I know, as a Giants fan and all that, I know it's going to be, well, look at what Bumgarner did in the World Series, and look at Clayton Kershaw's numbers. But you know what? If you're looking at the entire picture, I mean, we're talking there. It's miles and miles difference. We're just you don't You don't pick Madison Bumgarner. I'm not doing it. No, not especially not in one game. No.
Okay, so here's more numbers just on the stupidity of Kershaw, right? So like tonight, Jake Arrieta had 3 walks in 1 inning, and they were actually back to back to back, which was the first time in Jake Arrieta's career. I looked it up because I'm a nerd. I looked it up. It was the first time in Jake Arrieta's entire career he's actually walked 3 straight batters in a game. Okay, so in 1 inning, Arrieta had 3 walks. Kershaw's had 3 total walks allowed in his last 9 starts, but during those 9 starts for Kershaw, he struck out 91. Like, Kershaw's doing things that are unheard of. Okay, he leads all major league starters in innings pitched, ERA, FIP, xFIP, SIERA, strikeouts. He has the fewest walks. He has the highest swinging strikeout percentage. He has the highest wins above replacement. He has the lowest WHIP. He's doing stupid stuff, man. More stats on him, okay? Because this really puts into perspective how stupid he's been this year. Left-handed batters are hitting .052 against a slider and curveball. They have 2 hits against them. They're both singles. They haven't walked, and they've struck out 18 times on them. Now, that sounds insane, but then when you take in all the batters, so right-handed and left-handed batters, they're hitting .088 against Kershaw on at bats that end on a slider and curveball. They have no walks, and they've struck out 72 times. Like, you can, like, there's no words. Like, I can just tell you how great he is, and you'd be like, oh, okay, and that should just be enough.
Kershaw's walks per 9 innings. So we'll just give you some some guys around him. Josh Tomlin, 54 innings, basically 1 walk per 9 inning. Noah Syndergaard, number 3 in the league, 1.2 walks per 9, 1.29 walks per 9 innings. Clayton Kershaw's at 0.5. 0.5.
Yeah, it's a little stupid what he's done. Okay, here's the thing. He's 28. Like, he just turned 28 before the season started. Kershaw, that is. And as great as he's been the last several years, and he's had some ridiculously years. Okay, 2 years ago, he tosses a 1.77 ERA. Last year, he became the first guy since, Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling in 2001 to strike out 300 batters?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so this year, this is what he's on pace for. If he gets 34 starts, and I think over the last couple of years, he's only gotten 33. I think 33 is his career high. Yeah, 33 is his career high. But if he gets 34, because that's what he's projected at per ESPN, projected at 34 starts for Kershaw, projected for 327 strikeouts. Okay, now just hold that to the side. 16 walks. Like he's got. If he does this, he's gonna have 300 more strikeouts than walks, and that's what you call pretty stupid. In May, he did insane. He was 5-0 in May. In his 6 starts, he had a .091 ERA. He struck out 65 batters in 49 2/3 innings, and he walked 2. He's given up one 4-pitch walk this season. I don't remember who it was against, but because I know he's given up a 4-pitch walk, and it was like the weirdest thing ever. But all of his walks have come on at bats ending in his fastball. He hasn't walked anybody on a breaking ball or off-speed pitch this season, which is stupid.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it's not like it's Dodger Stadium. It's not like, oh, Dodger Stadium, he's unhittable. Like, yeah, he's great at Dodger Stadium. On the road, he's got a 1.67 ERA. You know, like, we're talking about a guy who's 44 strikeouts on the road, 3 walks, 38 innings. Like, good luck.
Yeah, it's
after an 0-2 count. If he gets you 0-2, after he gets you 0-2, you're hitting .082. If he even starts you out with strike 1, so if he starts you out at 0-1, you're hitting 108.
Yeah.
If he gets you 0-2, you're not walking. He hasn't walked anybody after an 0-2 count this season. So that's fun.
Yeah, so it just for anyone listening, if anyone ever says Clayton Kershaw or just before they say who else, just hit him. That meme of Odor punching Batista, just that. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, like that's why when people try to have the debates like, oh, Kershaw or Bumgarner, like, Kershaw hasn't done it in the playoffs. It's like, you know what? If we're talking about 3-4 game sample sizes, and Kershaw's had some great postseason starts. And the funny part is, as I heard on the radio the other day, which was really true, it's not like Kershaw's had bad starts. He's had a bad inning in several starts. Like, it's not like he's been terrible through a start.
Yeah.
He just gets one bad inning, and that's it. You know, it's crazy. Oh, one last one for Kershaw. So on pitches 51 through 100 in a game. So basically from probably like maybe the tail end of the third going to whenever he's done, right? So, yeah. Okay, so we're talking pitches 51 through 100 in a game. 0 walks, 52 strikeouts. And batters just are not hitting them well. They only have 23 hits off of them. This is happening, and it's honestly great. I hope he really does kill it this year. I hope he finishes with like a 1.2 ERA or something. You know, just something stupid.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, it's just that it's like one for him in the playoffs. Last year, he hit through 7 innings, 1-run ball, and then in the second game against or third game against Mets, game 1. He had a 1-run ball going again, but then he was at 112, 113 pitches, gave up a 2-run single. Like, I mean, it could be argued like that was kind of like going 115 for 113 from the 7th inning was kind of questionable as it is. But it's just like it's just one bad, but people like to take that.
And here's the thing too that people undersell with him. He wouldn't be in those games late if it wasn't for the fact that the Dodgers had a rickety bullpen.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that? Is people complain about that all the time. That people rip on the Dodgers for the bullpen all the time. But as soon as it comes to that, it's Kershaw can't get it done.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's weird how that happens. I mean, the Dodgers bullpen's actually been quite solid this year outside of the few blips on the radar. They've actually been – I think they've been the best bullpen in the National League West. Someone posted the numbers yesterday, I think it was, and it was like, wow, they are the best bullpen in the National League West. Like, Joe Blanton's been great for them, and Adam Liberatore has been great for them, and Kenley Jansen's obviously been great. It's just like everyone else has kind of been, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but like you said, yeah, against the Mets, Game 4, season on the line, by the way, Game 4, on the road, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, helps get them the win. You know? Was it 20 Game 1, like you said, he was spinning 1-run baseball until the 6th inning, or through 6 innings, and he gave up 2 runs in the 7th because he ended up walking 3 people, which was rare for him.
Yeah.
You know, and even if you want to talk about, for instance, that game against St. Louis, 2014 NLDS, he gave up, what was it, the 3-run home run to Matt Adams, right?
Which it was an incredibly rare home run.
Yeah, I've talked about it many times. Like, Matt Adams had before that point, Matt Adams had only hit a home run off of a left-hander throwing a curve. Like, I wrote about this, okay? So, like, this is how, like, when you write about something, you know how, like, you retain the information?
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt Adams going into that had hit 1 home run his entire major league career off of a left-hander who threw a curveball. And I want to say it was Zach Duke of the Pirates. And ironically, it came that same year, 2014. It also came at Busch Stadium, and it was also a game winner in the bottom of the 9th, or not the bottom of the 9th for Kershaw, but just in the, you know, to win the game in general, right?
Yeah.
So here's the other thing too about that: Kershaw had never in his major league career ever given up a home run to a left-hander on a curveball prior to Matt Adams. So you're talking about the joining of the immovable force meets just the trash can that can be blown over in the wind, and somehow the trash can held up. You know, like it's weird. Like I know it's a terrible analogy, obviously, but it was one of those things where it was like no one predicted that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, and just going through Kershaw's playoff lines because people like say he's terrible in the playoffs. So let's go through them. 2013. 7 innings, 1-run ball. 6 innings, shutout ball. 6 innings, shutout ball.
Well, they weren't shutouts, but they were no-run runs.
No runs. So when I say shutout ball, I just mean, like, you know, for those.
No-run runs, yeah.
Yeah. Then I think he went fourth time. Oh no, this was the second time against St. Louis. 4 innings, 7 runs. So bad start, but three of the four starts he allowed 1 run. We're going to
Well, yeah,
24.
one earned run or less.
Yeah,
And then it's like the 2014 NLDS game one against the Cardinals, which was the first of the two games that he pitched against the Cardinals that year. The second one obviously being the Matt Adams home run.
yeah.
The seventh inning, he gave up 6 runs. And before that, he'd only given up 2, and he was mowing through people.
Yep.
And if I remember correctly, Matt Carpenter, I think, got him in game one. I
Mm.
want to say that was like the weird thing where it was like Matt Carpenter hit a home run off of him. I want to say that. Yeah, Matt Carpenter hit a home run off of him. That's
Yep.
what it was. And then Pedro Baez gave up a 2-run home run or something, or a 3-run home run or something with Kershaw's runners on. But it's like, yeah, like Kershaw's been good. Like 6 and 2. Okay, so let's go through them. 2009, 6 2/3, 2 runs. That's a good start. 4 2/3, 5 runs. That's not a good start. Let's see, where's the next start that he had? 2013, the 3 starts that you mentioned where he went 1 earned run, no earned run, no earned run. Game 6, he gave up 7, which we talked about. Game 1 in 2014, he gave up 8 earned runs, which is 1 bad inning. NLDS Game 4, he gave up 3 earned runs with the 1 bad pitch. Game 1 last year, he gives up 3 runs. And I want to say there was the David Murphy thing, right, in the 7th. Is that what it was?
And
Yeah, no, David Murphy homered off of him in the 4th. That's what it was. But in the 7th, who had it? Oh, yeah, David Wright got the single in the 7th. Off of Pedro Baez, mind you. With 2 outs. 2 outs, and Pedro Baez was brought in with the bases loaded. Because Kershaw had walked 3 people, remember?
yep.
Yeah, so, and then he goes 7 innings, 1 run against the Mets in game 4 to actually give them a life and chance in game 5. Like, he's been fine. He's had bad innings. He hasn't had bad starts, really.
And by the way, just throw this out there. Obviously, Bumgarner had the historic, incredible 2014.
Oh, and by the way, real quick, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off
No,
here.
go ahead.
So that 4 2/3 start against the Phillies, where he gave up 5 runs, the 5 runs he gave up came in the 5th.
Yeah.
So, like, these are just bad innings. That's all it is. 3-run home run to Carlos Ruiz, double to Ryan Howard. You know, it's kind of like, I hate saying it, but sometimes shit just happens.
Yeah. And like just for Bumgarner, so 2014 had the great, just historic all-time great. But 2012, in 15 innings, he allowed 10 runs. So it's not like he's just had this huge run of where it was just always awesome blossom. I was just like, I mean, he had 5. He had, so I mean, he had 8 innings of shutout baseball in 2010. But it's just like, if you can pick and choose these things of, what defines a guy's playoff legacy, it's just, but defining Kershaw off this little bits of things is just.
Right, like Bumgarner in 2010, Game 4 of the NLCS against the Phillies, gives up 3 runs but only goes 4 2/3. But the Giants win the game.
Yeah.
They win the game on a walk-off, if I remember. And then what is it called? But like you said, NLDS Game 2 against the Reds, he gives up 4 runs and 4 1/3. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the NLDS where they went down 2-0.
Yep.
And then they somehow won 3 straight at Great American Ballpark because logic.
And because of a huge error in the 9th inning that cost Cincinnati everything. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like this is when was it? Game 1 of the NLCS against the Cardinals. He goes 3 2/3, gives up 6 runs. But in the World Series, he goes 7 shutout innings. It's like it's the way shit goes. Like, so in the first 8 innings of that postseason in 2012, Bumgarner gave up 10 runs in 8 innings.
Yeah.
Why does the 7 innings in the World Series? Obviously, it matters because it's the World Series, but like, he wasn't good before that. I mean, shit sometimes just happens.
Yep. But narratives.
Although it is crazy because Bumgarner's first 5 starts, 6 appearances, 5 starts in the playoffs, he had a 4.71 ERA. Since then, 8 appearances, 7 starts. He has a 0.91 ERA, which is kind of stupid, but yeah.
Like, and again, just that 2014 time is just we're never going to see that again. We may not ever see that.
Yeah, no one's ever gonna do that again. Yeah. 52 and 2/3 in the playoffs that year in 2014 for Bumgarner. 103 ERA, struck out 45 and 52 and 2/3. Like, you're not going to see that again. He had 2 wins in the World Series and a 5-inning save.
Yeah.
What was it? 2 days rest, I think. Yeah, 2 days
Yep.
rest. Yeah, you're not going to see that again. Now, does that mean I'm taking Bumgarner over Kershaw? No, because Kershaw's still better.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to move on because we've already talked so much about Kershaw.
Yeah, see, yes, Ben, this is what your debate caused an actual discussion. So we'll give you credit for that. Thank you. So one thing that you meant, I think I saw you tweeting during the weekend during the Mets-Dodgers series, because Clayton Kershaw, brilliant, and then he gets taken out for a lefty, and he gets taken out for someone that isn't Kenley Jansen.
Yeah. This is my problem with Dave Roberts is I don't think he knows how to manage. I think he does well with personalities, but I don't think he does well with decisions.
Yeah.
Look, Adam Liberatore, I've mentioned before, has been great this year. Left-handers have struggled off of him in terms of getting quality velocity, in terms of batted balls off of him. But here's the thing. They were 4 outs away from a win, right? Is that what it was? I think they were 4. Yeah, they were 4. They're up 2-1. I think it was 2-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to your best pitcher. You need to go to your best pitcher. You're facing the heart of the lineup. Go to your best pitcher. And it blows my mind that Dave Roberts doesn't. And as I said, Liberatore's been great. Kenley Jansen's better.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, Kenley Jansen could give up a 2-run home run to Curtis Granderson. However, at the same time, Kenley Jansen's better, so the chances of that is very, very, very low.
Yep.
This is the same mistake Dave Roberts made in the first game of that series, which was when the Dodgers tied it up in the 9th inning. They were down 5-1. They tied it up on a Chase Utley bases-clearing triple, well, double, and he went to third on the throw. But anyways, they tied up at 5-5, and rather than go to Kenley Jansen to start off against the top of the Mets order in the bottom of the 9th inning, he goes to Pedro Baez, and Baez gives up a home run on the second pitch. It's like, you go to your best pitchers. This idea that you need to save relievers for saves is so freaking stupid. I don't understand it. Like, why would you save them? I just don't get it. It blows my mind. It makes me angry because, I know people like to poke fun at the Dodgers, like, oh, look at all these sabermetrics guys failing. It's like, they're not failing. They're also not making the decisions of the dugout for Dave Roberts, you know?
Yeah.
And now I've heard conflicting reports about the lineup card where apparently they tell him who to put in and he puts them in. But what I know about sabermetrics would tell me not to play Howie Kendrick and Carl Crawford in the same lineup on the same day. So I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know. Maybe the front office is just trying to keep guys fresh early in the season so they can set out a lineup in the second half and just go with that. That kind of makes sense, but at the same time, you kind of need to be playing your best players. That why I don't get the platoon with Trace Thompson in left field with Howie Kendrick or Carl Crawford or you don't need to platoon him.
Well, I mean, also I get that they're trying to keep people healthy and that, but right now the Giants are playing really well. You can't. I mean, I know it's early, but you can't really afford to keep losing these games because of how these little decisions are costing you. One game becomes 2 games back, and then you're 3, and then you're 4.5 games back.
Although it's kind of funny, the Dodgers and the Giants, I think since over the last 10 days, I think it's the last 10 days now, it's either 9 or 10, they've actually exchanged the same result on the same day.
Yeah, they're close. 8-2 and 7-3.
Yeah, that's okay. So over the last 9 days, because the Dodgers have gone. Let's see. The Dodgers have won. Let's see. The Dodgers win. I can't even do freaking talk right now. They won 4 straight wins, a loss, 2 straight wins, a loss, and a win. So what's that? 4-1-2-1-1. 4-1-2-1-1. Okay, that sounds like an easy thing to remember. 4-1-2-1-1. Yeah, the Giants won 4-1-2-1-1 as well. Although the Giants had a game that they won before the four, so they won 5 in a row. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So over the last 9 games, they've been exactly the same teams.
Wow.
Giants lost by 2 runs yesterday. Dodgers lost by 2 runs yesterday. Giants won by 4 runs today. Dodgers won by 5 runs today. I mean, granted, they're playing different teams. The Giants are playing like the worst team ever.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers are playing the best. But hey, I mean, like the Dodgers are going to make their run. I also think they're kind of they've had a real shitty year with injuries.
Well, yeah, I mean, like
Yimi
Hyunjin
Garcia's injury hurt them in the bullpen.
Ryu was supposed to pitch Monday because I was going to go see him, but then he got scratched. His shoulder's still giving him problems.
Yeah, what's it called? Alex Wood obviously has had issues. Scott Kazmir had a blister and then like a thumb injury when he started the year that he pitched through. Grandal seems injured, like his hand. It's really weird. Puig was supposed to start tonight, but got scratched because of hamstring tightness. Ether broke his leg on a foul ball off of his shin in spring training. He's still out. Scott Van Slyke has the back injury that he's trying to come back from. There's somebody else I'm forgetting. Like, I'm seriously forgetting somebody else right now.
Brandon McCarthy felt discomfort while throwing batting practice, so he's been delayed.
Oh, okay, there's that. Brett Anderson might be back this year, maybe. Like, the Dodgers are like the walking wounded, and they're somehow still 4.5 back. Like, their offense has been terrible. Have you seen their offense? Their offense is not good right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Their rotation and bullpen are keeping them in games.
And with their offense, despite how bad it is, it's still not bad enough that Alex Guerrero is worth keeping on to.
Yeah, that's not shocking. It's not shocking that they DFA'd him. There was nothing they were going to do because the
bad.
Alternative, like you're not going to take anybody off the 40-man roster for him.
Yeah,
like they just put Urias on there.
I'm not even sure Guerrero's a AAA player right now.
I tweeted out some stats from last year for him that were really weird. I'll have to find it in a minute. But yeah, there's like he just okay, here it is. Alex Guerrero in his first 93 plate appearances last year, he OPS'd 1.045. So he OPS 1,000 his first like almost 100 plate appearances. His final 137, he OPS 462.
Wow.
Like, yeah, like there's not much to do with the guy who's I think he's 30 now or about to be.
Yep.
So there's not much you can do there. Especially when you got Urias, who just got put up on the 40-man roster. You're not gonna send someone down on the 40-man roster. You're not gonna send somebody through waivers.
Well, yeah, and obviously because of Guerrero's contract, he couldn't be optioned down. So yeah, it was just easy decision.
Yeah, it was the easiest decision they'll have all year. Now, if Carl Crawford was next, no one would cry.
How much did Guerrero have left on his contract?
I'd have to find it. I don't think it was much, but it was like still enough to where the Dodgers were like it's worthless money.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to think. You think Atlanta
okay, so he's at $5 million this year and $5 million next year. They basically just told him like, see ya.
Yeah. Do you think Atlanta would ever take just because they got nothing else to do for the next year and a half?
They could. He's 29. He'll be 30 in November. I mean, they could.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. See,
I don't think anyone's picking him up though. Like, no one's gonna pick up his contract. Like, no one wants to pay him.
I mean, I just think if Atlanta could technically, but that would be if it were like a trade to get just a small prospect. But
yeah, I'm just glad Urias is back up. I'm not happy how it happened though.
Well, because so Alex Wood felt discomfort in his elbows. So now
And he's going to have an MRI.
Yeah, MRI because that's just how the Dodgers season has gone.
Yeah.
So we'll find out what's going on there. Because it was initially triceps he was being placed on the DL, but then it was revealed to be the elbow. So is there any inkling about how bad this could be?
It could be bad. Now it's weird because he did start yesterday.
Yeah.
And he pitched the ball what I thought well. I thought he pitched it better than what his numbers were. I don't know. Like my thought process is why would he start yesterday if his elbow was that bad?
Yeah.
But the other side of that is he could have just really made his elbow that much worse by starting yesterday.
Well, I mean, like, that's kind of the question, and this is unrelated, but with Ruby De La Rosa, like, there was nothing related to elbow, but then all of a sudden, after his last start, he's going to be out a month plus.
Yeah, so it's so iffy, man. You got to be careful. And losing Wood's a big deal. He was the
Yeah.
Dodgers' second best starting pitcher this year.
Yep.
He had a 3.99 ERA, which isn't great, but at the same time, it's a quality guy considering he was posting career bests in FIP, strikeouts per nine, ground ball rate, strikeout rate, and his average fastball velocity was back to 90.6, which was the highest that he posted since 2013. Like he was back. He's posted the same wins above replacement that Zach Greinke has done, but Wood did it in 14.1 fewer innings. So basically 2 fewer 7-inning starts, and he's been as valuable as Greinke has.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a pretty big as much as I love Urias, like he's not gonna help the Dodgers like Wood was. And I know people want to think that Urias is destined for great things, and he most likely is. However, there are some trouble signs with him that I did see from his minor league starts that I tweeted about when he got called up against the Mets. One of the things I said is the Mets are just going to sit on his fastball because he throws a lot of fastballs.
Yeah.
So he's a fastball pitcher.
So let's talk about his start. Obviously, he made his debut against the Mets. Just one number he's tweeting out is 4 of his first pitch strikes for only 4 of 17 at bats.
He struggled with command. Now to his credit, he wasn't missing by a lot. He was missing by like half a baseball, which isn't a ton.
Yeah.
And if he had a generous umpire, they could have given him some of those calls as strikes. But at the same time, he threw 81 pitches and only 42 were strikes. He walked 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the notes on it. What is it? He didn't give up a exit velocity. He didn't give up a single exit velocity over 100 miles an hour, which is good. However, he did give up 91, 96, 97, 98, 95. I mean, the slowest hit was 73, then he's got an 82, 82, 84. He did give up some really hard hit balls that just weren't over 100 miles per hour. However, the problem that I've noticed with him in the minors is he does not get a lot of swinging strikes. The Mets took 31 swings and only swung and missed at 5 pitches. 4 were fastballs. When I charted his start on May 4th, he only had 5 swinging strikes in that one as well, and he also had 31 swings in that. The previous start, April 28th, he had 8 swinging strikes. April 22nd, he had 13. Now, granted, he's getting a lot there, but you also have to adjust down because A, he's a 19-year-old, and B, he's going up in competition.
Yep.
So 5, 6, 7, you're going to see those out of him. You're not going to get a guy who's getting 10 to 13, 14, 15 swinging strikes a night. That's just not happening, especially not in limited innings and pitches.
Well, yeah, especially early when teams, they'll get video on them. They're just going to sit there and just.
Yeah, and look, don't take anything away from his first 2 starts. His first 2 starts are A, on the road against the defending National League champion Mets, and B, on the road against the best team in baseball, the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, geez.
Welcome
to the big leagues.
Yeah, that's a trial by fire. So the 2 best teams in the National League this last season, and I say best in quotation marks, because they just made the NLCS. I mean, the Cubs were one of the 3 best, and the Mets were what, like 5th? So, I mean, because the playoffs last year were like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking, I'm trying to think of something, and now I can't think about it. Also, there was an analogy because I didn't want to say Game of Thrones because everyone says Game of Thrones.
Well, if you use Game of Thrones analogy, I wouldn't have understood it. I've never watched.
Oh, no, we're gonna have this discussion another day about Game of Thrones, aren't we?
Probably.
Oh my god! All right, but seriously, like he's being thrown into the lion's den. It's like just it's not sink or swim. It's more or less, please don't be terrible. Like just we'll see what you have, and don't judge him on anything that you see now. Good or bad, don't judge on anything. Now, there's more to take away on the good side because at least you can sit there and say, well, that should project well. On the bad side, he's 19. Just remember, he's always 19.
Yeah. And just, dear Twitter, you don't have to have instant reactions to everything. You can wait 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. You could even wait a whole year or several years for Urias.
Yeah, like Kershaw, like, here's the thing. Urias kind of does look like Kershaw in terms of 4-pitch repertoire. But Kershaw didn't get a 4th pitch, the slider, until like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Urias has the potential to be a 4+ pitch guy. The thing is, you gotta be patient, you know? And that's just how it is. So, he'll be fine. The Dodgers should be okay. I feel like once the schedule for the Dodgers lightens up, that they should actually take advantage of it. They're just through a really brutal stretch right now where, they just got done playing the Mets, and now they're playing the Cubs. I mean, that's a tough 7 games against anybody.
Yeah. And
So, I mean, we'll just see what happens.
If Urias' first year ends in a 4.26 ERA around 4.2, whip around 1.5, that's Clayton Kershaw's rookie year. It's okay not to panic. It's okay if the numbers are not great.
Right. I mean, the Dodgers' next 2 series, too, are against the Braves and the Rockies, but they're both at home. So it's like if you're getting Urias at home, on a night game against the Rockies, the Rockies are a good offensive team, but you're not going to be mad. That's more indicative of what you're going to see out of them.
Yep.
So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. As it's slated, I think he's actually slated to pitch Thursday. Is he Thursday? Is that what he is? I think he's Thursday. I think they said he's pitching Thursday.
Yeah. So, and then just one thing I've been tracking while this is going on, and we'll talk about Mike Trout as well. So the Los Angeles Angels, they just blew a 9-2 lead.
Yeah, I have the TV on with that, and that just happened. I can confirm. I can confirm that actually did happen.
And so one thing I saw you tweeting about this week, just a little bit on the Angels because we don't talk about them a lot, is Mike Morin was sent down.
Yeah, that actually annoyed me because I'm actually going to write an article about him probably in the next several weeks. Like I know I say I'm going to write a lot of these articles, and I take my time because I'm a lazy bastard who procrastinates. That's what I do. But as far as Morin is concerned, this was my problem with him sending him down. So he had a 5.48 ERA, which sounds terrible. But A, he's a reliever, and B, it's been more bad inning than bad games. He also had a 3.95 FIP. Now, here's the thing. The bad innings came like this. A bad third of the inning against the Mariners where he gave up 4 runs, that was the bad display there. The other bad display was the 2 nights later against the Dodgers. He gave up 2 runs in two. I can't even talk. He gave up 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning. I think it's Houston on the 29th. He gave up 3 runs in an inning. Now, here's the thing to remember with all this. From April 8th to May 11th, Mike Morin did not give up a run. A single run. Or, excuse me, I said that wrong. From April 8th to May 11th, he gave up 1 run. From April 17th to May 11th, he gave up no runs. So he actually set an Angels record for most consecutive scoreless appearances that was once held by Troy Percival. Here's the other thing to remember with Mike Morin. A, he posted 10.4 strikeouts per 9 last year. It's down to 7.6. So maybe last year was an outlier. However, this season, he's also posting a swinging strikes percentage of 14%. That's still pretty high. Considering he was at 16% last season, he's at 14% this season. The thing with Morin also is his changeup is still good. He's had it hit a little bit this year, but it's because he's missed location. He's missing middle, and that's not how he normally missed. I don't see how sending him down to AAA fixes anything. Especially because AAA for them is Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, look, we can all say he's going to be fine. He might not be fine. He could just had one great season. That would have been it. But I don't like the fact that they just yank his chain. Like, you got to stay with the guy.
Yeah.
Like, you have to believe in him. You know, and that's just kind of probably my main problem with all that.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of the Angels-Tigers, Nick Castellanos on May 5th was hitting 383. He's now hitting like what is he hitting now? 319.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Regression to the mean, probably.
So, what did he have? When was the date?
May 5th.
May 5th?
He's hitting like 383 because I remember he led baseball in batting, or he led the American League in batting average because Daniel Murphy was hitting like 400 at the time.
Yeah. So
by the way, this game has had all the home runs you ever wanted. So is Reds and Rockies.
Good old Coors Field.
The Tigers have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home runs. The Angels have 3. The Rockies, I think, hit 6 tonight.
Yeah, they had
5 in the first 3 innings.
So did they set a club record for extra base hits today? I think they might have.
Let's see. LeMahieu had 2 doubles. Walters had 2 doubles. Adames had a double. That's 5. Blackman had 2 home runs, so 7. Arenado had 2 home runs, that's 9. LeMahieu had a home run, that's 10. Gonzalez had a home run. Parra had a home run, that's 12. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Looks like they had 13, so that ties ironically, it ties the franchise record, which they set this year. So there you go.
How the hell is the Reds bullpen so... Like, someone posted a stat that said, like, the Reds bullpen's given up 150 runs this season, and no other bullpen's given up over 100. Like, how's that even possible?
That's just... Well, one reason it's possible. Good old J.J. Hoover. He had a nice little run before he got sent down. Let's see.
This is so bad.
The next closest team, the Texas Rangers, has 90. The difference between Cincinnati and Texas bullpen. No, actually, it's closer to Seattle's bullpen at 43. Like, that's... How does that happen? I mean...
Yeah, I don't even know. I just don't even know. All right, so we need to have a conversation.
Yes.
David Ortiz, Hall of Fame. And there's a little bit of an echo.
Okay, I'll let you lead off while I work on the echo.
Okay. David Ortiz is currently in the midst of having a season in which he's the best hitter in baseball. To put that in perspective, coming into tonight, now he's no longer doing it because tonight he had like an 0 for 4 night. 468 wins on base, 201 rated wins created plus. Now that is like bomb. Obviously not as great as Barry Bonds because Barry Bonds was some mythical monster who never existed. But my point is, would you put David Ortiz in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Since 2000, or excuse me, since 1990. David Ortiz. Actually, you know, I'm gonna take this down. I'm gonna take this to 2000. So since 2000, this current season by David Ortiz is the 9th best season in baseball hitter history.
Yeah.
And Barry Bonds is the top 4. Because Barry Bonds.
I mean, the one thing I will say, let me just double check this.
To put this into perspective for you, David Ortiz's 2016 is slightly better than Manny Ramirez, or not Manny Ramirez, but Sammy Sosa's 2001 when he hit 64 home runs.
Jeez. I mean, but like, as much sense as it makes for him to be in the Hall of Fame, with Edgar Martinez not in, with the steroid questions, how does he sniff the Hall of Fame?
That's kind of like where I'm at. Yeah.
If it were my Hall of Fame, he's in. But realistically, if I were betting, I don't see how he makes it in.
He's got over 500 home runs. His weighted on base is 391. Weighted runs created plus is 139. This is just career numbers, mind you. And it's not like his greatness from 2003 to now is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I get if people want to put DH in, especially like, Edgar Martinez is in it. But he's been freaking amazing. For instance, since 2003, Albert Pujols 405 weighted on base, David Ortiz 401.
Wow. I mean, it's as much sense as it makes. It's just the steroid questions are going to live with him forever. Especially after this season.
Yeah, for the record, Miguel Cabrera also on 405. And it's like if Cabrera's going to get in, I feel like Ortiz should because Cabrera's not a good defender, and we know Ortiz is, and that's why he's DHing. But it's like, is there that much of a difference between them?
Let me just check. Just to see. Pull up right now, but of course it's towards the bottom. Because, see for how many years and games it. Yeah, so 277 games, and that's going to make the difference. Is Ortiz only played 277 games, not as a DH. And Miguel Cabrera, he had plenty of games at third base, plenty at first base.
He was terrible.
He was terrible, but when voters get down to it, you think that's going to matter, or is it just going to be he played more there so we can consider him? He had more versatility, whatever.
Well, I don't think people can remember him as a third baseman. They're just going to remember him as a first baseman. For Miguel, that is. I hope a Hall of Fame voter doesn't sit there and go, "Oh, I remember him at third. That's fine."
I just don't trust the Hall of Fame voters.
Okay. Basically sums it up. By the way, here's the hilarious part about all this. Since 2003, Mike Trout's third in weighted on base.
Goodness.
The two guys ahead of him are Barry Bonds and Manny Ramirez. And with Manny Ramirez, he's besting in weighted runs created plus.
Wow.
Since 2003, Mike Trout is second to Barry Bonds in weighted runs created plus.
Oh my goodness!
Actually, I wonder how far I can go.
And just because I like taking, I totally forgot. Granted, I was young, but that Miguel Cabrera played left field and right field.
Yeah, when he first came up with the Marlins, right?
Yeah.
I still remember hitting a home run down the left field line in Florida off of Roger Clemens. That's in the World Series, mind you. So
yeah. Let's see.
I don't feel confident in saying David Ortiz. I would put him as a Hall of Famer, but I think I would.
For me, it comes down to, would he be in my Hall of Fame, or do I think he should be? Yes. Do I think he will be with the current Hall of Fame voters and all the other stuff? No.
Yeah, would I put him in mine? Yeah.
I think the one thing that will help him is the fact that he was in Boston. And he was in the center of the media, and that'll be the biggest
Yeah,
help.
the media loved him.
Yeah. I mean, he may even get a few added votes in addition to his career because of his "This is our fucking city."
That's true. I mean, he was a cool guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he gets in, I think it'll be in part because of he was in Boston and the type of character and the type of guy he was with the media.
So I just tweeted out a stat. Here you go. Since 1985, which is when I was born, so that's why I'm doing that. Barry Bonds, first in weighted runs created plus 173. Mike Trout's second at 157, and Mark McGwire's third at 157, which means Mike Trout was closer to Barry Bonds than he is to Mark McGwire.
Oh my goodness. Sweet goodness.
So what do we have left? And exit velocity.
Yeah, so that's something. I mean, we ended up talking a lot about this before the show, but we never brought it on a lot. So BABIP and exit velocity, which are some of the most fascinating numbers, because like you're looking at BABIP, and some of it with these guys like Jonathan VR, they have a bunch of speed, but number 3 on the list with a 4.11 BABIP, not someone you think a lot about speed, infield hits, Mark Reynolds, which at 4.11, I just don't. How do you predict baseball when stuff like this happens?
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at Mark Reynolds. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't watched Mark Reynolds at all this year. I didn't even know he existed.
Yeah, he's enjoying Coors Field.
Oh, he's in Coors Field.
Yeah, although he has like 2 home runs or 3.
How does he have a 4.11 BABIP? But like
2 home runs. There you go.
Okay, no, I get that.
Well, man,
but how does he have he has like a league average weighted runs created? How is that even possible? And he's hitting 307.
Yeah.
What the hell's his exit velocity? Gotta go look this up. 88.8? Wow. Makes no sense. That really makes no sense. That actually makes my head hurt.
I wish I could understand what's going on with him this year. I
have not watched him this year. That's why I'm kind of confused.
I mean, this was looking at the season, before the season. Like, I saw Coors Field. I mean, I thought, he could have a lower average, but I mean, he could have 15 to 20 home runs potentially because he'd get the playing time because they don't have any options at first base. But he's on pace for 6 home runs. And he's just singles all day.
All right, then. Maybe after 30 years, he's changed his approach.
There you go. He decided, I'm tired of striking out, I'm gonna win with singles. There you go.
All right, so here's some exit velocity numbers from May. This is why we talk about BABIP and exit velocity. So Jock Peterson in May, and this doesn't count tonight. In May, from the 1st to the 30th, had a 94.7 mile per hour exit velocity that was good for 8th in baseball in May. His BABIP was 235, which was 154th. Meaning he's getting unlucky as hell. And I can tell you, he's lined out quite a few times to the guy at second base and right field on the shift.
Jeez.
Jose Fernandez had the highest. This doesn't count tonight, obviously. Jose Fernandez, who started, has the highest average exit velocity allowed among starting pitchers in May at 94 miles per hour, but he had an awesome May. Scott Kazmir had the lowest average exit velocity allowed at 84 miles an hour. Justin Bohr had the highest average exit velocity in May for hitters at 96.8. Bryce Harper only hit 200 in May. And that was because slightly because its average exit velocity dropped from 92.8 to 89. So exit velocity is fine.
Yeah. I mean, Cameron Rupp is averaging the highest exit velocity. Let's see what else. Yasmani Grand. Oh, well, that's not. Oh, that's the other one. Ryan Zimmerman, who just. How is Ryan Zimmerman in the top 10? How?
I wish I could tell you.
I'm like, all the other. Tyler Flowers is in the top 15. I just don't understand this world we're living in.
Welcome to sports.
And then Denard Span had like a 440-foot home run, 420-foot home run the other day.
Wait, what?
Granted, it was scores, but yeah, he hit it second upper deck, like 430 feet.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Oh, here's one. Since the mound was lowered in 1969, Mike Trout is still second in weighted runs created plus.
Just wow, Mike Trout, you are incredible, and I hope you get to experience the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not happening with this freaking Angels team.
Yeah, I can dream.
We all can.
Yeah, so I mean, and just off top, because this is another thing that was mentioned on Twitter, is about how Clayton Kershaw stayed in LA. Jake Arrieta is likely to leave Chicago. Who do you think emerges as the top? Obviously, this is projecting far, far ahead. Who do you think emerges as the top suitor?
For Arrieta?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know. That's a tough one. I mean, when's he a free agent?
He's arbitration eligible 2017. It looks like so 2018.
Oh, so he'll be a free agent after 2017.
Yeah.
So he'll be 31, going on 32 as a free agent. So basically, Zach.
Yeah. And I think biggest thing will be he might just go to the highest bidder almost because he's only making $10 million this year. It's like it'll be his only real chance to cash in.
Yeah. Obviously, like teams like the Dodgers and the Angels. Well, not the Angels because they don't want to spend money on anybody because they suck. The Cubs will spend on them. Maybe the Cardinals. Yankees. Giants.
Where's Arrieta from?
Missouri.
Oh.
But he went to TCU, so maybe the Rangers, Astros.
Yeah, so that 2018 free agent class.
That brings me to a point, though, because 2018 is Machado, right?
2018 is Machado is everyone.
Okay. So September of 2013, was it 2013? I think I posted this question. I gotta find it because it's gonna bother me if I don't find it. Yeah, September 5th, 2013. I tweeted, who would you rather have for the next 10 years, Manny Machado or Bryce Harper? A lot of people said Bryce Harper. I said I would take Machado. Now, I'm not saying Machado is better than him right now. Machado is tied with Trout for wins above replacement right now. But either way, who would you take for the next 10 years still because they're still 23.
Who makes
Machado or Harper. And don't worry about like who else is there. Like you don't have to worry about like does my team have a right fielder or third baseman? Like, if in a vacuum, who would you take?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't worry about that anyway because who's ever in that position, they're getting moved. I'm not picking one of those players.
Yeah.
You're gone. I feel more safe with Machado.
By the way, just to factor into this decision, Manny Machado in 235 innings at shortstop this year, plus 4 defensive runs saved.
Goodness. Yeah. I mean, with what he does at short, I'd feel more safe with Machado than Harper. Which I know maybe sounds.
And it's crazy because it's crazy considering he's coming off. He was 2014. He came off that surgery, that knee surgery, the ACL or something, right?
Yeah.
And then 2015, first year back from it, he played every game. He played all 162.
Yep.
This season's got a 417 weighted on base, a 160 weighted runs created plus. Been a great defender.
Yeah, Machado.
And it's nothing against Bryce Harper.
Well, I mean, and I don't. You shouldn't have to say that because we talked about this in the last episode. Like, it's okay to love both and just it's just
right
talking about the players, but because we're in a society where it's always compare has to be either or. It's
by the way, think of that 2010 MLB draft. Bryce Harper went number 1. Jameson Taillon, who should come up soon, is number 2. Machado went 3.
Goodness. Well, then you had Matt Harvey too.
Yeah, Matt Harvey went 7th, which was funny because 3 years prior to that, the Angels picked him in the 3rd round and couldn't find him.
Chris Sale, you had, let's see.
Grandal, who's been an all-star.
Aaron Sanchez, Taijuan Walker, Nick Castellanos.
That was the year the Angels had 5 first-round picks, and none of their players were worth a damn. I remember I tweeted out, the Angels that year passed on Christian Yelich. Just to give you a list of names they passed on. So Christian Yelich, Cam Bedrosian's actually been a good reliever this year for them. So they passed on Christian Yelich. They passed on Aaron Sanchez. They passed on Noah Syndergaard. They passed on Taijuan Walker. They passed on Nick Castellanos. It's like they had shots at all those guys multiple times.
Yep. And they swung and they missed. And they swung and they missed. And they swung and they missed.
It's been fun, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's life as an Angels fan.
It's been glorious. How much time do you have? Because I can tell you about it, but not really.
Well, then we could get into the Sacramento Kings, which has been a barrel of joy.
Right. Oh, so here's a nice play on numbers. Tigers and Angels are tied at 9 in the 9th. Because baseball.
Yep. You know what I'm going to dream of? Even though it's unrealistic? 2018 free agent class. What? No, actually, is that when's Harper free agent? 2018.
I think you're at the same time.
Yeah, I want Harper and Machado to team up.
Oh yeah. Okay, so here's the thing on that class. Harper, Donaldson, McCutchen, Price, Fernandez, Machado, Hayward, Keuchel, Kershaw, and Harvey. If everyone exercises their opt-outs.
Oh my God. That's just I mean, if you're a bad team, just clear out the cap space you can and throw money at them.
If you're the Yankees, do you not try to just throw $1 billion at those people?
You throw every dollar you can find.
Now I know you're overpaying a shit ton because let's be honest.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That's how I am too. Who cares, right?
If I can get, this is reaching. If I can get a Machado, and a Fernandez, or I don't care how much I'm overpaying them by. Those are 2 people who are going to change my franchise.
Yeah.
That's just
Is there a list on CJ Cron just hit a walk-off home run.
wow. That's,
Second home run of the game.
wow. Well, he probably won't play for. No, he'll play again. Wow.
So yeah. So the Angels. I think baseball's done tonight, right?
Yeah, Angels. Well, that game wrapped up. Oakland game's over.
Yeah, that was the last game.
So now I realize MLB at Bat app is really behind today.
There's been a lot of action today, to be quite honest with you. So I get it.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they're saying, oh wait, yeah, they're saying it's saying it's the eighth inning. So
CJ Cron bat flipped.
he did.
It wasn't like a major one, but it was still great.
Well, bless you, CJ Cron. Thank you. You are a hero.
All right, man. We're gonna be back next week to do this.
Yep. So we covered a lot of topics today. I mean, the fact that there was, we went long because ESPN decided to bring up a stupid topic and debate it, and we turned it into a real discussion about different things and why their debate was so stupid. But lots of good baseball discussions tonight, whatever it is. It's late. Anyway, thank you, Justin, for coming on. Thank you, everyone, listening to Burn the Ships, episode 7. More episodes are coming because baseball is wonderful. We shall see you all very soon.